WNJC 1360 AM, Washington Township, Philadelphia. Philadelphia's Renaissance radio station, broadcasting online at WNJC1360.com, a service of Forsyth Broadcasting.
Next on WNJC, the Doc and Amy Show, comedy at its best. Go ahead, Doc.
Well, hello there. It's another Sunday, and here we are again to entertain those of you and to pick on those of you who lost your will to live. We are your show. What we would like to do today is welcome you again. It's 5 o'clock, and tell you that our call-in lines for our listeners, both of you, would be 856-227-1360. Please call in. Please, anything that you have to say, to discuss, to reiterate, or to react to that we say, please do that. We have with us in the show, this is a banner day at the Doc and Amy Show. We have, of course, Amy, my sweetheart, to my right.
Make me a chicken pot pie.
You're a chicken pot pie. That's, Amy is to my right, your left, your middle, whatever. And we also have Kurt Zimmerman. Is that? And
yes, it is.
He is coming to us today to talk about several things he does in his stand-up routine. Yes, he's going to be talking to us in just a few minutes. We also have Jess Carpenter with us. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
So we have quite a group of folks in here today.
Yeah, we're quite a group, all right.
Yes, we have. We've been playing poker in the interim with our 10% that we should have been giving to the last radio show. However,
testify, brother.
yes, let's not be crude now.
I'm sorry.
We want
to save the crudeness for later.
We want to make sure that when we come in next week, there's no trouble. So we do encourage you to not only call us at 227-1360, but also to visit www.thedocandamyshow.com, where you'll find next to nothing, but it's fun. We have archive shows on page 4. You can contact us. You can see our schedule. You can, I think there's a crossword puzzle. There are all kinds of things.
Yeah. Sudoku.
Yes. And, connect the dots and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you can tweet us.
Twitter. Oh my God.
Last week I said you can tweet us. Not that week, no. Twit doesn't come out with all
bad word.
If you substitute vowels at random, sometimes you get caught up.
Things that you really don't want to say.
Yes. I said you can tweet us at, and then it's at. So it's 2 ats.
It's not 2 ats. At Doc and Amy.
As you stated, you can tweet us at, and then there's an at. There's an ape tail as part of the address. So it's at.
They already put the at there for
and you have to supply another one to give the
convenience.
location. So see, that's where I got confused. So I was adding all over the place last week.
Adding.
I was adding. Yes, I'm an at.
You're in Star Wars.
Whatever. What we'd like to do is, first of all, greet our friend Kurt. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
All right. Now, you have been doing a lot of things. You've been hosting some open mics. You've been performing on stage. You used to be in radio, as you were saying.
Oh, yeah. I worked at PST for a little while. I worked at WPST up in Princeton for a little bit.
Okay.
Was also for a short time the news director at WGLS FM right down the road at Glassboro State University, now Rowan.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry. I still know it as Glassboro. Excuse me.
We're kind of on Radio Row here.
Yeah. So, but I was there for a while, and then unfortunately, I had to go to work, so I had to abandon my radio career. So this is my great comeback, 25 years after.
Here we
I
go.
left.
He's
back,
ladies and gentlemen.
So it's great
With a
to be back.
vengeance.
Hopefully. But I'm back, and it's great to be here.
Excellent. Well, and now I know one of the things that you told me that you wanted to talk about kind of struck a nerve with me. Okay. Now, and that was when you were telling me about the AV technician part of your thing. Now, let me tell you, first of all, why this struck a nerve with me.
Sure.
7th grade. I got promoted. I got picked. I got ordained to be part of the audiovisual crew. Okay?
All right.
That means I got to be pulled out of class and so-called trained in operating all the audio-visual gear. I'm going, and I forget the guy's name that trained us. He smelled greatly of bourbon. And
They usually do.
Yes, yes, and he was smoking at the time, right in the school building. This is Indiana. That's not uncommon.
Sure.
So he gives me my cursory instructions on all the gear. It took about 7.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so my first gig, shop class. We had this film to watch. I go up and I get the Bell 707, Bell & Howell 707 big blue 16 millimeter projector.
Used to work on them.
It weighed as much as me at the time. I carry it down to the classroom. I set the film up. I feed it through the doodah. I'm getting ready to go, and I'm hit the lights. I'm in charge, okay? And I turn it on. We watch 22 minutes of film. The lights come back on, and as I look over to the machine and I see the end of the film going through the feed gears and past the lens and so forth, and see it drop on the floor, 2,200 feet of film lying at my feet.
And that's how I got started also.
Yes. Okay. I think everybody I've talked to has that particular horror story in common.
My horror story was 9th grade. My gym teacher, or my health teacher, calls me out of class, and she goes, I get down to the AV room, and there's what you're saying, 2,200 feet of 16 millimeter film on the floor. She goes, here, can you put this back on a reel? I'll give you extra credit. And I go, why me? He goes, you look like one of those kids who knows what he's doing with this stuff.
And
You look like a geek, you know? So I sat there 3 periods wrapping this stuff up on the reel, which would have taken me 20 minutes in my career.
Yeah.
But I was there for 45 minutes, and finally I get it back, and she wouldn't give me extra credit. So needless to say, I started hanging out there because I was the one who was able to wrestle 2,200 feet of 16 millimeters. But as I said, when I got to Glassboro, then after that, I needed a work-study program because of that. So what did they do? Well, you look like one of those kids. Let's put you in educational media, which is college for the AV department.
right. And you get immediately you get 3 extra
Right.
credits in gym
You
class.
know, I must have looked like Jerry Lewis in The Nutty Professor.
Okay, lady, let me put up the 16 millimeter. Okay, nice, lady.
So, and I put that there. So now I get out of college, I'm working in refrigeration, and
I don't even want to know.
No, you
transition.
don't want to know. My father was a refrigeration man. He was glad when I got out of the business.
My father just had a cold heart. That's
Yeah.
as far as he went.
and so I saw this ad to be an AV position at a school district up in Burlington County. I said, "What the heck? Let me change my amateur status to pro." And I've been there for 23 years ever since.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so now there, as you transition from the amateur status,
Yes.
to the pro status,
Yes.
there have to be some kind of more scary stories involved. I mean, some kind of not really a personal fiasco, but something maybe that didn't go. You got the wrong movie. You were playing Heidi or something.
You got the wrong movie.
There's a couple stressful periods during the year. I'd like to refer to them as the last day before Christmas vacation and the last day before Easter vacation. I refer to them as the biannual Disney fests for school districts because you'll go down every classroom in the middle school and you'll hear one Disney film in one thing, and they're calling every day saying, the film doesn't work. And then you go in there and it's like, what Disney film are you showing now? And it's the most stressful day of the year. You get a week's vacation after that, but you pay for it with the day running around from school to school to school.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So, but now, I decided to work now for the Princeton Public Schools. Now I have 5 schools that I got to run between as opposed to just 2 at my last district in Burlington County.
Oh, good God.
So, it's fine, but I have some people to help me now up there. So,
Well, I do have a question now. In my short career in AV, now, and this ran right through high school, and,
Right.
and of course, I've done some videography and things like that, so
Great.
it did, help me out in my further pursuits. My favorite film of all time that we saw on 16 millimeter in school was, I think it was Donald Duck shooting pool to teach algebra. Do you remember?
Donald Duck in Math Magic Land. I showed that so many.
How do I get a copy of that? Really? Yes, absolutely.
But I've showed that one every year because we used to get that from the county AV library. There was also the ones that they used to show for driver's ed, Gidget Goes Signal 30, those kind of films, and these kids were out for a joyride. Look what happens when they try to beat the train to the crossing.
Death in Hamilton County.
And you got to see the same films over again, and they're all dry, Your Constitution and You.
Oh, yes, that's nice.
Sponsored with
Donald Duck.
No, hosted by Chet Huntley.
Oh, geez, yeah.
But that's what you have to put up. It's a lot of repetition. And, after I was in this gig for a couple years, I said, "Oh, I know it's the third week of October. I need to get ready for the pep rally." And
Yep.
and that's when the big disasters occur.
The overhead projectors and
No, it's not that. You know what hell really is? Is that when you have 1,500 kids on a football field and the sound system dies on you.
Oh,
5
I've
minutes,
been there. Oh,
and
yes.
From one little diode in the amplifier going, and then then the administrators look at you like, what do we do now? And I said, plug into the amp on the band.
Yes.
And that's what you do.
I had that happened. Now, there is a gospel family of some renown, Dove Awards and all that kind of thing, the Gaithers from my neck of the woods. And I was they had an $80,000 Bosendorfer Grand up on stage that they tuned for this performance. I'm in charge of the lighting, and we had a sound glitch. Now, they're musical performers. It's all about the sound.
Yep.
Oh, their spiritual attitude it took a 180 as soon as that sound
Absolutely.
Oh, they became Satan right on stage.
Do you want to make a performer yell an obscenity on stage? Just put hum in the sound system. That's all there is.
Well, that gives me some food for thought, but I can't do it here. Hum in the sound system. Hello. That's an 8mm. However, now you said you mentioned to me something about the differences in schools from the 70s to today. Now, I went through that as well, so let's reminisce about that.
Well, back when I was in elementary school, I think it was a little more old school. It was the end of the old school educators really teaching the kids really tough.
Yeah.
Now today, I think they really are trying to encourage the kids to keep the self-esteem going, to really help them with their, achievement and all that. Like today, I work in a school. We have signs all over the place. Your kid is respected here. Everybody's got value. Back when I was a kid,
you're special.
Yes, exactly. Those kind of signs. When I was a kid, my school only had 2 signs: fallout shelter this way, and suck it up. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. There was the 2 signs in there, and I got to tell you something. My elementary school was tough. I mean, they changed the guards in the towers every 2 hours. We had Stephen King come and visit us, not to talk to the kids about literature. He was doing research for the Shawshank Redemption. And it was bad. I mean, the cafeteria was also, do you like buffalo chicken flavor, Doc?
I do not.
You do not? Well,
I do.
Okay, but they put it on ice cream there. That's how bad the cafeteria is.
The ice cream flambe.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we had Sally Struthers as our cafeteria worker, and they gave our food as an airdrop. It was.
You couldn't quit crying.
Yes, exactly, and we cried over the food too. So.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, I was basically part of the illustrious public school system from like 1963 until whenever they made me leave.
You had more old school than I did.
I was. Yes.
He's really old school.
Yeah.
You are awfully close.
I didn't even have film in school. We had VHS tapes.
I ran the AV department, the original VHS, the original videotape that I ran.
The 3/4 inch, like the real.
It was 1 inch reel to reel.
Yeah.
And the deck was wider than my wingspan. It was enormous. You couldn't move it without a hand truck. Yeah, that's what we.
And you
came
pulled
from.
a hernia if you did.
Yeah, I remember one time in a high school class, I got called to because the deck wouldn't work. The video deck, the reel-to-reel Fred Flintstone video deck would not work. And I went in there, and it was a teacher that everybody hated, Mr. Rittenhouse. If you're listening, Mr. Rittenhouse, we all hated you. And I get there. And basically, in my toolkit in the audio-visual department was one empty drawer with the exception had a Phillips screwdriver in it. That was it. And if you couldn't fix it with that, you were on your own.
So they had budget problems back then, too.
It wasn't a budget. It's just there were no tools. I mean, it was like, it was like Flint and Phillips. That was it. And so I get up there, and he says, I can't make this work. So I look at it, and I try to run it through its paces. Basically what you can do, basic troubleshooting, and it's not going to go. It's fried. And so I turn around and look at it, and this guy was a snooty PIA. Man, this guy was, everybody hated him. And I turned around and looked at him. I said, I don't think you're going to show this. We don't have another deck. This one is not going to work. He looked at me, he says, you're the AV technician. Fix it. And I threw him the screwdriver. I said, you went to college, you fix it. And I walked out of the room, and I was a hero. I
Rebel without a screwdriver.
That is still commemorated on the hallway somewhere in our high school.
That's beautiful.
So, I got my revenge on that guy. I took an honors government class with him, and it was 2 semesters, and it was like the worst 6 years of my life, basically. That notwithstanding, we will get back to some of those school horror stories as
Absolutely.
well. Thank you for that, because now I probably won't sleep for a week again. I'm going to be on Benadryl now until I dry up and blow away. Amy, as a I don't know. It's a you have to go with the pharmacology that I took. I'll walk you through that. It dries up
I'm
the
still
mucous
here.
membranes.
Anyone who's listening.
Well, I wanted to include you, darling. If you just
it's so
give me
nice of you.
Yeah, well, whatever. So, what we always do for our faithful listeners, again, both of you, one of you must be awake. Please call in. Amy comes up with some things that she finds on the internet, out from the social media, out in the atmosphere, pulling it from the ether, whatever she does. So she's going to regale us with some things that she has to bring about here. Go ahead.
All right. Well, everyone's going to have to bear with me because I sprayed some throat spray, like in my throat, but it didn't make it to my throat, so like my lips numb now.
Oh, really?
I'm not really smart.
Well, that's okay. It's now you'll be speaking with my type of enunciation. Go ahead.
Yeah, there we go. So, the first story I have is about CPAC.
Oh boy!
Does anybody know what CPAC is?
I do. It's,
okay.
Isn't that what they put those?
Oh,
never mind. That's a 6-pack. Sorry.
No. So they held the CPAC down, I guess, in Maryland this year.
Somewhere
Was it
around the
Baltimore?
Washington D.C. beltway.
I don't do a lot of research. With
That's
my
okay.
news
No one else
stories.
does either. Go ahead.
No, exactly.
It's not like we have a budget or anything for that.
So apparently they were like short on funds for this CPAC. The government, everything's short on funds at this point. Everybody's having budgetary
They've been
problems.
sequestered. Yes.
So they decided to do some ad placement
Oh, okay.
during the convention, to make
sure.
some money. So
We'd like to do that too.
yeah, apparently, anybody wants to call in.
Well, stay on track.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
We don't want to go there.
No, we don't want to go there. So apparently Sarah Palin took the podium with a big gulp in her hands. And she pointed to it and said, "This is how I got to run for VP. It all started with a big gulp."
Oh boy, that's frosty.
That's frosty. Yeah. We all knew it was true.
And who said this?
Sarah Palin.
Oh God.
I mean, who else?
Yeah, she's basically just Tina Fey in reverse.
She's like
just-
she
yeah.
has the intelligence of an amoeba.
I like Sarah
I
Palin.
don't. She's a moron.
I know she's a moron,
She's
but I think
stupid.
she has good intentions. It's just when it comes
No,
to the
she
point
doesn't.
where she has to translate those into communication, that's where it all kinds of falls apart. You want to maintain the Constitution, keep people's freedom intact, hunt bears, walk out your back door and look at Russia. Those are all okay things. It's just when she starts talking, none of it actually is intelligible anymore.
No, she's not really smart.
Right.
So.
The best part about Sarah Palin is that British Columbia separates her from the rest of the country.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That is a good
That's called the
thing.
margin of error, is what that's called.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're one Canadian province away of her joining the rest of the 48. So.
Oh, you betcha. Okay.
Oh, betcha.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything? That
Yeah.
you can follow?
So apparently she was trying. They've been getting a lot of negative press on the immigration issues.
Okay.
The Democratic or the Republicans want to actually enforce the law that says that if you're not legally in this country, you should get out. Which is, I guess, that's kind of insane.
It's pretty simple, though.
Why should people do what they're supposed to do? I mean,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. So they've been getting a lot of negative press about that. So in order to kind of skew that a little bit, they wanted to show that they can accept our neighbors down south. So
From
apparently,
Alabama?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, ouch. So apparently she decided to channel Carmen Miranda, the Latin American
with the
woman
fruit on her hair?
who danced with the fruit on her head. Yeah, so she strapped on Nathan Lane. Yeah.
Oh.
And Paul Rand started playing the banjo, and they did a little remix of Deliverance and Live in La Vida Loca. Wow. It went over really well.
Wow.
I just can't get past the phrase strapping on Nathan Lane.
It's a true story.
You know what?
Totally true.
Of all the things that are going to keep me awake this week, I think that's going to be number one right there.
That's the
That's a
winner
visual
right there.
that is not going away.
We'll give you a Benadryl IV.
Oh, it's going to take. It's going to have to be the size of a salvo.
She
tablet.
deserves it.
Huh?
She deserves it.
Of course.
We all know that and all agree.
Yes.
There we go. See? Yes, dear.
Don't push it. Well, that's
That doesn't work in my household.
CPAC basically. To me, is a Star Trek convention without the dress code.
Yeah, there you go. See? Yeah.
So okay,
It just sounds like a medical term. Like
it sounds like something
nurse,
that
hand me the CPAC.
the CPAP. Yeah.
Yeah, it just.
I have sleep apnea. I wear a
CPAP.
CPAP mask. Oh no, CPAP
A
mask.
Yes.
CPAP mask.
Yes.
See that?
If you need antibiotics, there's the Z-Pack.
The Z-Pack.
The Z-Pack, exactly.
Maybe they all need a Z-Pack at the CPAC.
You having a little trouble making your lady feel romantic? Well, just give her a CPAC, and you can interpret that as however you want.
We're all interpreting it a different way.
A what? Oh.
There you go.
He said PAP. I
He
think
got one in.
you're going to a completely
This
different
is
elementary
acronym
route.
hell right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
HELO, which stands for whatever. Okay. Thank you for all of that.
you're welcome.
Entertaining as always, darling. We will probably be coming back to revisit some of the other findings.
It's so
The acronym corner.
Oh,
the
yes.
acronym corner,
Yes.
the AC.
What Doc? We'll come up next week. We'll have the acronym Doc and Amy with an N in the middle. That will be the acronym for our show. It will probably
DNA.
after I deliver it. It'll be our last broadcast. Thank you very much. And we also have with us today Jess Carpenter. Say hello, Jess.
Hello.
Hey, you can just turn that mic there so that you're.
There we go.
There we go.
Yep.
I'm intrigued by some things that Jess has shared with me about some of the things he does, the Iron Lung, comedy and the comedy deconstruction, and so forth. The other thing that really is intriguing now, obviously this is an auditory medium or an audible medium. You can't see him. He looks like.
Oh boy.
No,
Where are you going
he
with this?
says this
He looks
himself.
like a normal
this
human
myself.
being
No,
to me.
he's got the facial hair thing going on, and he looks like he is
What's his name?
Wolverine.
I get
That's what it is.
Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to think of the
yeah,
actor's
I can
name.
I'm
see
shaved.
that,
I
yeah.
shaved it down.
Yeah,
I had job
yeah.
interviews, but
But I can still see it.
Wolverine.
And he looks exactly like
What's
Wolverine.
his name's Jack something.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Which was yesterday we were
boy.
watching a clip from a broadcast, and a weatherman got pranked. He was doing the anniversaries and birthday, and he said, "I want to I want to wish a happy 10th birthday to Hugh Janus." First name Hugh,
He didn't
last
realize
name
it. He
Janus.
was just reading it. Hugh
so he
Janus.
buzzes through Hugh Janus.
Oh my God.
They played a prank on him in the studio,
Yes.
like all his.
No, huge.
And it took like 5 seconds. I mean, these people are supposed to be professionals. Come on, I would have caught that on
Bart
this show.
Simpson probably called that one in too.
And that apparently it was.
It
a
was Homer
spoof on-
Simpson or Bart Simpson probably called that one. Anyway, we get off track here. You'll get used to it.
It's fun.
Yes. Basically, what I was looking at. Some of the fun things about Jess Carpenter. What he describes himself as dyslexic, colorblind, an unemployed art director, things like that. So
Those all mix. Like if you think about being an art director, colorblind is pretty much why.
And
I'm
dyslexic,
probably
yeah.
unemployed. The worst part about the dyslexia is I've been unemployed for 3 years, and I thought that really stunk. But
Yeah.
then I realized that about 21 days ago, I found out that I had a spelling error on my resume, Yeah. And the worst part is it was the word detail.
Oh, there you go.
It was in the statement, I am known for my attention to detail.
detail.
Which now, ironically, I will be known for my attention to detail. All the people that did not hire me.
Mr. Carpenter, could you tell me more about this Detali?
Beetle?
Yeah. Actually, I did spell it with an
Detali?
E. Yeah, it was horrible because I don't trust words with silent letters. Actually, I think if a word has a silent letter, that letter is not pulling its weight.
No, I agree.
know what I mean?
Like gnome. Like that bothers me.
Oh,
I
we're not
think
going
the
to gnome again.
Well, I mean, like gnome. I mean, just
Lamb.
And why
Not.
do you even need extra letters?
Yeah.
Why is there 2 L's? Or why is
Right.
it like?
I agree.
And someone was telling me it was. Someone tried to make the point. Who Purnell? This comic's name is Keith Purnell. His last name has 2 L's.
Right.
And the other comic, I'm like, why does he need 2 L's? I'm not going to pronounce that second L.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's Keith Purnell. I'm like, no one
Purnell.
ever does that.
Purnell.
No one ever does the extra L. I'm like, you
Purnell.
sound idiotic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And this is what we're known for: scintillating radio.
Yes.
We're
you
getting
cannot
back to that.
hear this anywhere else.
No, this can't be had at this price
Yeah.
anyplace. And we're getting back into the hardcore 70s education. See, now,
Oh, man.
in my day, this was all explained for you, but I forget why.
I wasn't in school.
Yes, it came directly from the Latin. I mean, it was like one guy removed.
I was
in
special
my
ed
day.
though. Like when I moved. I was a Navy brat. I grew up overseas.
Navy, hello.
Yeah, I grew up in. I was born and raised in the Philippines. I was
really?
born
Oh.
in Subic Bay. So when I came to this country,
We don't call it
I was
Subic.
diagnosed with. Now this was in the 70s, and they said that I was educationally retarded.
Okay.
Really?
Educationally retarded is not retardation. It's
Right. It's just
different.
you were behind.
But all my father could hear is the word retarded. And he lost his mind.
Yeah.
He lost his mind. And then the short bus started picking me up for school. I mean, like it was like this big snowball effect of just
Yeah.
horrible things to happen.
he
to
started
me.
drooling.
Yeah.
Ah, it was
Your proper
bad.
diagnosis was lost in the Detali's.
Yeah, really. I mean, seriously,
Lost in
'cause
the
I think it took
tallies.
him 5 years to actually get it down to dyslexia. And it was, I was in the blue reading group forever.
The blue reading.
The blue reading group. And
Tell me that's not a past tense verb.
You were
it's
not
like-
feeling Smurfy.
It's like everything I read never had more than like 7 letters in it. Like I was like
Half of my vocabulary is
all the
limited to
characters
4.
I knew were like Sam, Ann, and Nip. Where'd they go? The
Nip.
park. You know, there was never mountain
With the
there
bat.
was big hill. It was like horrible things like that. You know,
But you can do a lot with Nip, really.
Yeah, you can do a lot there. You know?
Never got to have a pet chinchilla.
Nip was
nothing
a
fun.
I can't even
Because that
spell
second
That
L
stinks.
is, you start pronouncing that second L and it gets all crazy.
Yeah.
That's not right, man.
See, we're just stepping all over you, and I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's my ADD.
Those are under
I was
7
I was going to
letters,
say I
so.
was going to diagnose you as ADD immediately.
No.
Us dyslexics, man.
And you don't have to
diagnose
pronounce the third
everyone.
D, but it's that intense. Yeah.
I'm only giving you the AD.
There you go.
A minus.
A minus.
No, see, this is the kind of the fun thing. People, usually don't come on and talk about things about themselves that are, more negative or something that's more personal like that. And it's something. I demonstrate my personal failings here every Sunday at 5:00. And if you have witnessed our personal failings here, you can call in at 227-1360 to get that out of the way.
And it is fun to have people come on and really just be vulnerable and talk about the things that are difficult in their life and then totally make fun of them. I love that.
One of my favorite things is finding other, like, if you think about it, no one really has a lot of fun with Mr. Perfect. They all have more fun with people that they can relate to.
Yeah.
We are all broken. The American
Yeah.
Indians say that if you make something and you feel that it's perfect, you have to damage it just to make sure that you're not competing with the gods.
Right.
Now you're explaining a lot because I have some Indian blood in me, and
you have a little damage there too.
Yeah.
My brother made me Indian perfect. Outweighed me by 200 pounds. He made sure that I had plenty of corrections.
Corrections, there you
whether
go.
they were needed or not.
I can attest to everyone. He's definitely not perfect.
Thank you. So that's why I love her.
I'm just trying to
She's so supportive.
make you feel included.
Don't
in this
make me throw
conversation.
duct tape in your eye again this week.
Duct tape.
He nailed me in the eye last week. My
With duct
eyelid
tape.
was closed.
With duct
I was
tape.
like over
Usually duct tape
here,
is how you fix things.
but it was all wrapped up. And then he nailed me with my eye open, like on my
With
cornea,
duct tape.
with duct tape
All right,
again.
you know what? You had to have seen that coming.
No, it was. It was
I did. I was on the side.
I
and
went
it
like
came-
this.
Oh.
I wasn't even looking at her. Bang! Right in the same spot twice.
Right. I'm like, are you seriously? I'm permanently damaged.
But I'm this when the weather gets better, I'm going to every carnival and I'm walking down the Midway and see what I can win because apparently without
Now you
looking,
have
I'm
peripheral-
100%.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like
You're
it.
100% of hitting women in the eye, man.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
That's actually not something you want to do at a carnival.
Well, she should have
romantic.
been listening. Yeah, whatever. No, now now we've gone from personal failings to my being a woman beater.
Domestic abuse.
A domestic.
Duct tape as a weapon.
Well,
You're
you
always
can't
yelling
get a
at
gun
the
in
kids.
this state.
Put
so-
that down. Don't play with this. Don't play with that. Don't throw that around. You're going to hurt somebody.
I'm right.
Right.
Well, they say, though, there's all kinds of competitions now. Duct tape is trying to actually do a lot of promotions on
They
what can
are.
you make out of duct tape.
My son made a rose like 2 weeks ago.
You can make, actually, was it, or did you watch, I was just watching, I can't believe I'm going to admit to watching Project Runway.
Oh boy.
But they had a competition.
I just
of
love that
making a
show.
dress- making a dress out of duct tape, sponsored by Duck Brand Duct
3M,
Tape.
yeah.
I made
You
a
can't get
wallet
it
out of
off.
One. My niece made her own purse out of duct tape.
My daughter, she takes duct tape and she covers pens with it for a pet rescue group that she does, and they sell these pens covered in duct tape.
What, pet ducks?
No, pet duct tape. Like, they
Pet
cover,
duct tape. I got it.
Duct tape.
No, but they cover the pens in duct
Right.
tape, and then they sell it to make money for this. And she sits there with duct tape, all different colors in her living room.
Oh, that's right. They have colors and
They have all
like
patterns
animal
now.
patterns, 'cause,
Yep.
See, the
you're gonna
world has
need
gone to
zebra
hell.
print at one.
Oh, yeah. You have
Could
to
you
have
imagine,
that.
like, you know what? I have like this electrical issue right here. What do I need? Zebra
Daisies.
tape. Like, zebra tape. Nothing's gonna make me feel better than this being fixed with zebra.
Nothing is manlier than pink duct tape.
That's right. Look, my ducks are like leaking, so I want to put some Snoopy up there. I think that would go.
Snoopy.
I love Snoopy.
Disney
They
princesses.
should really come out with just the Donald brand, like Donald duct tape.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, speaking of your Donald, while you guys were talking, I Googled, because I Google everything.
Because he was bored.
You can get your Donald in Mathmagic Land on Amazon, and it looks like someone's selling it for 90 cents. That's a big seller.
Wow.
Really?
90 cents.
Yeah, but the shipping's probably like
$137.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but if you need
That's a deal.
if you need the movie, you can't do
But
math.
it's on
You don't care.
VHS. I think that's why it's 90 cents, because it's on VHS. Like I
I have
don't
a
even
VHS.
player.
we have a VHS.
Oh yes, I have an 8-track in my car. Come on. Yes, our last show was in Morse code on shortwave radio. No, it's
It'd
that's
probably
perfect.
be
Thank you
more
for that.
exciting than
Welcome to the Dot and Dash Hour. I'm Dash, your host. So anyway, see how far we get off track. This is like you've come to the fork in the road and take it. You have done openers for some folks that early on that Jason Dudley and Aaron Foley were mentioned
Yeah,
here. And
I love-
that was
yeah.
kind of got the thing rolling, right?
Actually, it's funny because a friend of mine just called me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to do this show?" It was at Helium, which is I guess it's
Yeah.
A room in Philly, and yeah, I got to open for him, and it's funny because now I get to see. Like I was in Vegas a couple months ago, and I ran into him, and it's just kind of nice because you have that kind of rapport of like, and they saw me early on. And I don't really do that many of those jokes anymore, so it's kind of funny seeing the progression.
Yeah.
But it's weird. I am not opening up for. I'm trying, and it sounds weird. I'm trying to stay under the radar as much as possible now because I found that before I was trying too hard, and my bad stuff was being seen. I want to. I want to come out like Cinderella. I want to do my
Here we go
comedy
again.
in the dark, like back rooms of bars and stuff where no one's going to see.
Yeah.
Polish it up like a diamond, and
Yeah.
then someday they're going to be like, "Where did he come
from?"
I want that. That's what.
That's
I
my
want.
plan.
In
too.
my experience, so far, it's taken 30 years in this time. No, but be patient. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, they say 11 years is like when you're at it just at 11 years.
Yeah.
That's when you're just getting your baby steps. I'm like 11 years. I've been at it for I think it's my 4th year,
Well,
and
I
I'm
see.
even like I need a day job.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
hiring Jess Carpenter's is like just
not for art direction.
He does do spell check.
Yes, he's come
great
a long
with the
way.
Deedles.
The Deedles,
The Beatles. Oh yeah, the Beatles.
Yeah, the Deedles.
I was on stage on a stage with George Carlin. I was security, basically. No, but I took him when he was up there. I saw both of his shows, and I was kind of in charge of all the logistical things that were going on, and happened to be there by chance. I called the night before. I had come back in from out of town, working with out on the road, and in my hometown, George Carlin was playing this little theater. I'm like, no kidding.
And this is Indiana, right?
Yes.
Isn't that where he met his wife in Indiana, didn't he?
No. I don't know. That could be. I read his some of his writings, but that detail escapes me. So you're probably right. But what I did, I called the theater, and the owner was there, and I said, I know this is late. Are there any tickets left? I just, whoever would answer the phone, he happened to be there. He says, look, I'm working on a lighting problem right now. We got the show tomorrow. He said, you want to talk to me? Come down. I said, I'm an electrician. I'll be right there. We went down. I helped him fix the lights. He was ecstatic, and from the ecstatic electricity. And so, sorry, that just popped out.
Yeah.
So, and he says, if you have 10 friends, bring them. I'll make them ushers. You show them, kind of the layout of the theater and so forth, and they can work down in the mezzanine, seat people, and all that, and you can watch the show for free. I'm like, cool. So I'm all over the place, for 2 shows. And
Did you have 10 friends?
You can, if it's free George Carlin, you can make 10 friends.
I'll remember that.
Okay. So I was kind of buzzing around everywhere, and Jerry Hamza, his manager, from stage right, he comes around the wing and the little steps, and he pulls the curtain back, and he just crooks his fingers and says, "Come here." He says, "I've seen you everywhere. You must know what's going on." He says, and he looks at his watch. He says he has 11 minutes left. Okay, 11 minutes. Okay, and a half or whatever. And he says, when he's done, they're going to drop the light, bring it back on for 7 seconds, drop it back down. He's going to take his applause. You grab him and bring him out to my car. I'll be back there. And he points to the lot behind. And the backstage door was barred shut. So I had to take George Carlin, after his show, around in front of the stage, between the apron and the crowd, out the side door. Okay, this is like suicide. But there happened to be a cop there. I said, I want you on my right, and just follow us out. And so he does his signature bow. He looks over like, where am I going? And I turned around and I pointed at my behind. I said, grab this the tail of my coat. And here I go out in front of everybody with George Carlin holding onto the tail of my coat like a conga line right in front of God and everybody. Take him to his car, and so we stand in the little doorway, and I tell him, I'm of course an aspiring stand-up comic, and I tell him kind of the things I do. I take him out to his manager's car, open the door for him, and I said, do you have any words of advice, for an aspiring comic? And he looked at me and said, shut the door. So that's my George Carlin story.
I got the George Carlin last words. I do most of my reading on audio, so I got his last words on audio, and it was read by his brother, and I missed the part where it said it was read by his brother.
Okay.
And his brother sounds just like him.
Right.
And I was like, the whole time, I'm like, this is the most morbid thing to ever do.
Yeah,
to actually
why
write a
would
book
you
called
do
Last
that?
Words and record your own voice, and like, that's just weird. And I was like, the whole time, I'm making comments about, I'm like, this is so strange how he's talking about himself like this. And then finally at the very end of it, it's just like, we'd like to thank such and such Carlin. And I'm like, oh
man.
This is why reading is fundamental, children. Stay off drugs and read.
Stay in school.
But you see, you had such an emotional, visceral response during there was a
weird
payoff in the middle.
It sounded just like him. It literally was. Those are the words. I mean, he does do a lot of words advice, and literally it was talking about how his drug use messed his life up and how he started. It was pretty cool. It was really cool.
I anticipate that happening to me, so I've checked into prehab.
Prehab.
Yes.
Nice.
No, I got stories where I've done something. Actually, in front of 22,000 people, Eddie Vedder jumped off of my back. I crouched down to get out of his way, and he jumped on me and jumped off me, smashed me like a bug on the stage.
Played Frogger.
Yeah, it was.
Vedder,
wow. Yeah. So I've got a bad disc in my spine right now because I was part of the show. I was the Ottoman, So,
wow.
Yeah. So
some people just want autographs.
Yeah. I just want the abuse.
He wants the X-ray.
So now here's the one of the really intriguing things that I really wanted to bring up: the comedian deconstruction. Tell me about the genesis of that and kind of what you do.
I studied improv because I got heckled once, and I decided I needed to think on my feet.
Yeah.
So I started doing improv classes, and I did all the classes in Philadelphia, and then I went up to New York, and I was at the Magnet Theater learning, and I got a class with this guy Armando. He's from Second City. Armando.
Armando.
Actually, and the funny part is, and that's the best part, is I had a teacher in Philly who used to talk about Armando like he was like the Antonio Banderas of like,
The comedy world.
And the worst part is here I am. I'm thinking he's like Armando.
No, yeah.
And then you go and you have a class with him. He's more like Alf. He was like, I'm just like, oh my god. But I met him and
You got 10 minutes?
where's the cat? But he does this thing called a monologue deconstruction, and it's known. It's called the Armando Styles in a monologue deconstruction. Someone comes out, they'll do 5 minutes of monologue, and then the improv group will come in and they'll deconstruct it. They'll turn it into a story. And I'm thinking to myself, as a comedian, I would love to see what happens in a comic's mind, and I just think that if a comic does a set, why not let the improv group turn that into 25 minutes? So now it's like when I see a comic and I know that they're right for my show is when they talk about something that you're already starting to visualize.
Right.
Not set. You can't do set up and punch.
Right.
But if they're telling like a little storyline, or if there's something going on, you're like, wow, I would really love to see that family acted out, or I'd love to see how that would be.
Yeah.
And then you just let an improv group go to town with it. And there are moments it's magical. And then there's moments where you're just like, you look at the comic and you're like, they got me. You know,
Yeah.
they know.
Yeah.
Some comics are like writing down notes. Like, all right, there's a punchline there that I can add. I can a tag here. It's
Right.
really
They're making an outline. Of a little bit,
and it's funny because they say when you start doing comedy, they're like, "What's the story in your story? What's your show in your show?
What's your
like,
motivation?"
Yeah, and it's so funny because they're like you're supposed to think about what your what's it called, sitcom in your show is going to be.
Okay.
And I honestly think this shows them what the sitcom is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, that's
really
kind of what
interesting.
we like when we are in that mood to kind of write comedy.
Oh, that mode. Okay.
We just darn. He was hoping for the other mood.
Jeez. I want to let down there. Okay.
But we'll just go on and on and on, and maybe
In the other mood too.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, darling.
Oh Lord. Does anybody have any duct tape to throw at him?
I'm.
No, but we'll go on and on and on and just bounce things off each other. And
Duct tape.
The zone.
some of it is
Yes.
good.
You're in your zone.
You're
A
in the
lot
groove-
of it
in the
isn't.
groove.
But then you
In the
keep
groove,
going,
baby.
and then all of a sudden you get something that's like just gold.
You're lucky. I've been looking for a partner like that, like someone who I can do that with, because if you have that kind of rapport where you're bouncing stuff off of
Yeah.
each other,
All right.
and it's the most amazing thing.
Oh, it is. And because she's smart, it works for me because she fills
She's
in
smart-
a huge gap
smart
that I'm
on
missing.
this
Yeah.
No, we were outside today and we started talking about a tree. Don't even go there. But he's, well, are you going to bark at me? And then just all different
Pining
kinds
away,
of trees.
you know.
And some of it was just stupid, but some of it's funny. We did it with fish one night, different
God.
kinds of fish. I swear to God, we're like 45 minutes. I am not even kidding.
There are
you.
lots of fish.
I didn't even know I knew that many different kinds of fish. And most of it was stupid. Yeah, I mean, most of it wasn't that great, but some of it we were like,
My part was pretty good.
Like, I'm floundering now.
No.
You know what?
Oh, thanks,
Like
Gil.
stupid, but you put that in, but
She
it
works for
keeps
scale.
it going. God, help me. please.
Anyway, okay, let's get back on whatever track we were on
well,
at
we
the beginning.
deconstructed the deconstructed.
We were doing what Jess is talking about.
There's deconstruction and there's plain destruction. Okay, and I'm trying to find that middle ground. And if you'd like to help us destruct the show, please call in at 227-1360. Of course, that area code is 856 because we are on the outskirts of Philadelphia. 856-227-1360. Feel free to visit www.thedocandamyshow.com because we archive things like this. This isn't quite the fiasco it normally is. Thank you, fellas, for that. But it is
It's not quite as bad as a normal show.
and there are no eye injuries today.
No, it's great. I'm
we have
happy.
17 minutes left. We're,
Yep.
we're hoping for a trend.
Woo!
So anyway, now not to kind of get too far away from what we were discussing, but I do want to. Did you have something else that you were preparing for
Oh,
today?
it
as well?
really, it wasn't.
We kind of do segments here. And,
It really
Yes.
wasn't, that important.
Well,
but
if you don't feel good about it, just don't feel.
no, I was just going to talk a little bit more about CPAC and Michelle Bachmann because Michelle Bachmann's always fun to talk about. Are you familiar with
All we
Michelle
need are
Bachmann?
targets.
She's fun like the chicken pox.
Yeah, she's fun like the chicken. But she's a complete and total moron. She's worse than Sarah Palin.
Is she the witch?
Fun like none.
She's a witch. She
She's a
melts
witch.
when it rains
Yeah,
outside.
she has Gladys Kravitz living across the street from her.
Yeah, she's pretty bad. So, well, the Republican Party's gotten a bad rap lately, and they're trying to kind of.
Because they have no rhythm.
They have, yeah. Yo, yo.
Boy. No,
But they're trying to change how people view them. So Michelle Bachmann, she's kind of seen as cold and unreasonable by a lot of people. So she's trying to change people's perception of her. So she wanted to show that she's kind of been taking some actions to show that she really does care. So
She married a mortal.
Yeah, she married a mortal. Yes. So in order to
She's changing her name to Endora.
What the Zeus is this? Go ahead.
So in order to show that she supports recycling
Uh-huh.
and supports the disabled, it's important, those two topics. She decided to wallpaper the walls of her home with the deportation papers of terminally ill illegal aliens.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think that was very giving of her.
That's
Don't you
that's a
think?
good recycling step right there.
That's a really upbeat kind of
Yeah.
wallpaper. That's kind of right up there with little duckies and sunshine.
Yeah, there you go.
And,
See?
and she probably fills in all the gaps with, confiscated handicap parking decals or something.
Yeah, it was very sweet. So, and
Very
then
sweet. That's very
Amy, did you say she supports the handicapped by levitating them?
yeah,
She turns them into newts.
it's
Your tail will grow back in a
Bachmann.
minute. Don't worry about it. Oh God.
And then she's trying to show that she's greener, like she believes in being
witches
greener.
are, yeah.
Yeah. So when they took the LGBT youth to the realignment camp, they took the bus. So just to
That's
Not the broomstick?
not the broomstick, they took the bus.
you
Did that take you a minute there?
with the LGBT. You don't want to have the broomstick as your transportation. It's
Yeah, she's
there's
like-
overtime parking involved.
I'm down with LGBT. Yeah.
No, we
know
looked at
me.
this story. Now, kind of on this, we looked at this story. Amy's youngest was trying to put together a collection of stories, and on Walt Disney. It's his favorite human being in the world,
Yeah.
living or frozen. And he put together this thing, and it was this collection of things about the Illuminati and how Walt Disney was. It was written by this guy named Fritz Hitler or something. I don't know. He was. Yeah.
Fritz-
Yes.
Is that real?
Springberg. Spring.
Oh, the guy's nuts.
Springmeyer.
Springmeyer. Or something.
Springmeyer. He's nuts.
Fritz Hitler.
Fritz
Either way,
Hitler.
it works if you read this guy's writing.
Sounds like a bad German 50s rockabilly
Fritz
artist.
Hitler. Now we're going to stage Fritz Hitler. No, but I mean, if you read, we can give you the. We can give you the.
He brought this home from school. That's a whole other issue.
Oh yes, the entire school system as we
It's
know
gonna
it
be
right
on
now of
fire
New Jersey
tomorrow morning.
It will never be the same.
No.
She's going to completely revamp the education system as we know it. Horace Mann will come back from the dead. That was going along with CPAC. It's something that stuck in my head there for a second. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't often hear Walt Disney and the Illuminati in the same sentence.
Well, apparently you
Illumination.
do. Apparently you do. Yeah.
Yeah, but not Illuminati.
Just FYI, he was also a dyslexic.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that. I bet Harrison does.
You should have seen Donald Duck's first name before it was corrected. Yes. That's all right. Being live on the air is the perfect alibi, and that's what I'm doing.
Gosh.
I don't stop to look at them because I can't read. That's from an old little record I had when I was a little kid, and that's a one line I remember. It's Goofy the Street Cleaner. Yeah. I'm Goofy the street sweeper, sleep in the street. I have a lot of fun, and it was.
And
it
if
goes
you
on
lived
and
in
on.
New York, you'd probably be making more money than a school teacher.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you still be dealing with garbage. So well, I've seen the outside of schools Never mind. Going into my school, it was like, you had to kick things out of your way. It was terrible. I don't know. They cleaned the inside of the school, but outside,
Where they put the stuff.
Yeah, really. Just throw it out the window.
Push it right out the
but
door.
you would think if you had, severed fingers and things like that, you would try to pick those up and get those out of the way. But no,
That's fun. Fun with fingers.
Hey, that was whatever. So anyway, we are having, and you look like you had.
Yeah. You know what the most angry guy in a school system is? It's the custodian on the afternoons that they serve boiled hot dogs.
Oh yeah.
It's
that's
like,
nasty.
and
Those
they
come
just
right
go,
back up.
They
Oh,
just,
baby, that's
and they're- and
nasty.
you could just see him on the 2:00 on a Monday afternoon going, "Why did they serve this again?" That's like giving nitroglycerin to a child. That's that's
An epileptic child. Yeah.
it's horrible. And they're constantly muttering, "When's vacation coming?"
Yeah.
They're carrying the bag of sawdust, and they are not happy.
How do they spring load these weenies? What the heck is going on?
That's
It's
nasty.
It is. It is. And
I don't eat meat.
they're
and
nasty
that's the
before
thing
they
that
are eaten.
grosses me out the worst. When I was a kid, my mom used to boil hot dogs, and
Yeah.
my brother and sister would put ketchup on them.
We were really poor when I was a kid, and my mother used to make hot dog soup. Does anyone know what hot dog soup is?
I don't want to know.
Is it
what I'm-
lentil soup with hot dogs in it?
Hot dogs in the water. You pour the ketchup right into the water, and it's hot dog soup. It was horrifying. But the thing
My
is, when you're a
God.
kid, you don't know. It literally tasted like hot dogs. Like it was hot dogs cut up in the water with ketchup. So it was like the same flavor you'd have as if you had a hot dog with ketchup on it.
Your mom wasn't Michelle Bachman. Tell me that, please.
If my mother was a witch, she'd turn it into
Bubble,
something
bubble.
fantastic, So we'd have like,
She's like
foie
stirring
gras
it
or
with the
something.
It's hot dog pate. Oh my god! Now you have completely.
My mom
beat
used to
me up.
make
Thank
hot
you very
dog
much.
smoothies. So, yeah, for a little tasty frozen treat.
There's bacon ice cream now.
Yes,
I know.
Okay,
We
so-
had a bacon show. Like
I'd wake up with bacon. I mean, I would.
I've
the-
bed- I'm
Like,
beg your pardon?
actually
wake
in
up to
bed
the
with
smell of
you?
bacon,
Oh, okay.
Even if I had duct tape on me. That's how much I love bacon.
I've been pretty drunk. I've never woken up with bacon. That would be. I would never tell people on live
I'd
radio.
wake up to the smell of bacon.
I-
That
okay.
would be my
Yes.
alarm clock.
I try to do that one morning on the weekend. Cook the bacon as everyone's getting. I don't eat meat, but I cooked them this morning.
So
I
guess
did
what?
it. Cooked the bacon so when they wake up, they can smell the bacon.
We have. If Bacon were in the PDR, she would write the section about the therapeutic adult dose of bacon because we're allowed so much. Okay, like
I ration their bacon.
3 half slices on a Sunday morning.
No,
okay, is-
it's
3
not
slices? Are you
half.
kidding? That's an hors d'oeuvre for me.
No, I don't
three
let them have
half
a lot.
slices. I'm talking about.
No, it's not good for them.
It's not even like a whole piece of jerky, okay? And this is our treat. And I'm
It's more of a trick than a treat.
exactly. It's bait, is what it is to get me into the kitchen to wash the dishes. That's right. Hey,
Here, docky.
don't forget your egg beaters. Whatever. Okay.
And turkey sausage.
That's nutrition, baby.
Turkey sausage.
It's good.
I made
Turkey
chili. I
sausage
made
is
white
good.
turkey chili the other day. Not too bad, was it?
And Harrison goes, "Who made the chili? You or Doc?" And I'm like, "Doc." He's like, "Oh, good." I'm like, "You know what? I don't
Thank
honestly.
you,
I
buddy.
don't like his chili. I like mine better. But he makes his more like soup.
No,
It's
I
like
don't.
soupy.
No,
I like
don't.
mine real chunky.
No. Here's
Thin
the
chili's
difference.
only good to put on boiled hot dogs.
It's in the bag.
Nice call.
Thank you.
Yes,
my
pre-digested.
friend.
No, most people make chili, and it's basically tomato soup with stuff in it. I make, realistic chili. It's mostly beef and bean based. I don't use whole beans. I put in like mashed pinto
Or if
beans.
it's turkey meat.
It thickens them right up. Yeah, lots of cumin
Which I
stuff
do
like that.
like, but I like it chunkier. I don't like it soup based. Now he did make turkey because I don't eat meat, so he made turkey chili.
Which is,
But
not
I
me.
like big chunks of meat and beans and stuff, and I like the tomato base.
But if you made the white, did you use white beans? Or
No.
Was it all white or
No,
was
I
it just
use
refried beans.
I use pinto beans made like refried beans. Yeah. And then I put some milk and flour to help thicken it up, so it kind of brings the color up a little bit. Lots of cumin. I put in some other secret ingredients, and it tasted like regular chili. My regular chili is beef based, and it's very thick, and it's got lots of chunky stuff in it. When you're working with turkey, you know what?
Are you
You're at a loss
spicy?
already.
Is it spicy or no?
We all add hot sauce.
It's
We
on
kinda
the.
do
It's
it.
because they're everybody has their different.
But the kids put
thresholds.
Tabasco on it. They like it spicy.
I
But
I just pour
we have a
bourbon in
chili.
mine.
We have a political dichotomy, him and I, and we have a chili dichotomy, him and I. He and I.
Yes,
Yeah, we disagree on chili and politics.
but
You guys must be
and-
awesome
and-
on chili politics now.
And speaking of politics,
There's a lot of gas involved in every
speaking of politics, now that Obamacare is in full swing, you won't be able to get a dichotomy for 6 weeks even after it's prescribed. I'm sorry, I can't make it. I'm on bed rest after my dichotomy. I don't know. I'm out there. I'm on another.
Yeah, we could tell.
I'm in another orbit. Sorry.
So, is there anything else we needed to talk to Jess about? Since I keep interrupting.
I'm used to it. He's probably not. No.
I grew up in a family of 9. Like,
So you're used to
I was
it.
the baby. Interruption was literally just our middle name.
I was the baby of 3. It was tough to get the last word in.
And coitus was the first. Anyway. So. Yes, you'll get that later.
Oh, I got it.
I wasn't talking to you. As I look at your bio here, and I think we can all share in this. Amy's even been instrumental in some of this with me. As we all probably have been involved in fundraisers and festivals and things like that. And those, I'm just trying. I'm basically getting taking a poll here. I think those are probably the most fun of all my performances.
Yeah.
Yes,
Those,
yes.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Because
You've been doing it, right? Recently.
Yeah, I we did a benefit for a woman up in Pittman who is suffering from a form of cancer, and that was a fun show. Not reason why we were having it, but it I think when you have the fundraisers, I think you give a little more to it because you want the fundraiser to go well.
Right.
And I think they put a little more into getting people out, and they're in the mood to laugh when they're there.
Exactly. We did one. The first performance I had, the second performance I had after I moved here a couple of years ago, was a little boy who was born with heterotaxy syndrome. He was 2 and needed a heart and bilateral lung transplant. So we were doing a radio show at the time on an FM station, and somebody put this bug in our ear, and I started making some noise, and decided let's put together a fundraiser. So I grabbed some comics up, and
He didn't even know these people. He just did it.
It was 110 emails and several pieces of regular mail and a couple, bunch of phone calls, and we put together something that
No,
packed the house.
you put together.
I put together something. Okay, whatever. And it was, we packed the house, and everybody was in such a good mood when they got there. The family, greeted me, and we talked a lot, and I got to, actually, put faces with names and stuff. And I'd been up for 48 hours putting the finishing touches on this thing. I get up on stage and I forgot my own name. So
Yeah, it was not his best night.
Everybody else was a scream, and I got up there, and the house went.
You know what? That's something that really. I have found that when I'm running around putting a show together, and I put a lot of shows together.
Oh, yeah, I've done this
and
for 15 years.
And the worst part is I don't have fun when I'm on stage when I'm putting shows together.
No.
Now, see, I'm different because what I did, I brought in the stage, I had my own backdrop sound, I had 3 cameras, we did 3-camera shoot, live video mix, we had everything we needed to do a live broadcast-worthy show. And I was there the day before, building the stage, setting everything up, getting the comics online. I'd show up 3 hours ahead of time, walk through the crowd, eavesdrop so I could get material and know something about my hecklers. And then the day after the show, go back and deconstruct the show. And it was great. To me, that was, something that was well worth every minute that I put into it because the comics came.
Oh no, I love putting the shows together.
Oh yeah,
I love doing all the work. It's just when I'm in management, producer,
it's hard to get in the zone.
Yeah. And then I jump on stage. I feel that I'm just not the comic anymore.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then it's really hard.
You have to switch
for me
hats.
to.
You
It's
put on
it's tough
I
when the
can't
business
switch
side
hats.
takes over.
Right.
And then you can't put that creative side back in.
Well, I'm so
Yeah.
haphazard about the business side. It
Oh,
really
no,
doesn't matter.
I
it's
am
like,
very. It's so
just
funny.
give me some
how
money.
I'm extra. It's funny. I have comics tell me all the time how overly prepared I am.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's lined up. Everything's
Yeah.
written out.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have like sheets. Everything's
Yeah.
done.
Well, I think
You
in
take care
Indi-
of the Detalis.
The Tallies.
Vitalis, yes. I think in Indiana, he knew all his comedians, and he used them over and over again. So I think doing the show is probably a more relaxed and simplistic
I
process.
used them
This was
over
different.
and over. No,
In this case, he had never met any of the comedians. He didn't know if anybody was going to show up. He didn't even know the family who was doing this. He didn't know the venue. So
I know
it was a
nothing,
whole new-
basically, and this is a trend with me.
It is.
Yes.
It continues on. So
yeah.
we are getting close to the end of the show.
We are, and
here.
I was going to try to get a word in here edgewise. I know how hard that is off the air, so I tried to keep. Ow!
I just hit him.
Yes.
I hit him with a Philadelphia Eagles notebook.
It's like she doesn't have a
That's the
tongue.
only
It's like
thing the Eagles
it's
will
like an assembly belt. Just keep going. So I wanted to thank Kurt Zimmerman for joining us today. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing what you have in the future.
Sure. www.kurtzimmermancomedy.com for anybody out there in Radio Land who wants to check me out online.
Okay.
Awesome.
Our first episode of Shameless Self-Promotion. Next, we have Jess Carpenter.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thanks for. I mean, this is a fun show.
This is
is.
great. I want to come back.
It's
Now-
not fun if you're not here, though.
Now,
So.
as soon as in about 1 minute, we're going on the air. So now that you've practiced, thank you very much. Comic Deconstruction was, that's an awesome idea. I can't wait to see it. Your website?
Actually, you can do comediandeconstruction.com. Actually, that I build sites all the time. So.
Oh, hello, it's God. Thank you for that, and I'm sure people will be looking at that. Our website, www.thedocandamyshow.com. You can check us out. Check us out every Sunday at 5 p.m. Call in, have fun, and we sure enjoyed
Do
this
something.
show. Thank you, fellows, for being here. Thank you, Amy, for your
Good one.
input. And as always, we will see you again next week at 5 p.m.
WNJC 1360 AM, Washington Township, Philadelphia. Philadelphia's Renaissance radio station, broadcasting online at WNJC1360.com, a service of Forsyth Broadcasting.